Yo, what's going down, Green Screen Entertainment fans? Your boy JGreene back live in effect right now with another Morals and Values. Real quick off the top, if you've been to my channel before and you've been peeping my reviews, you've been peeping my morals and values, do me a favor. If I'm bringing you back because I'm entertaining you, giving you some insight or just a topic to talk about at the dinner table, hook your homie up right now before you go any further with a like and with a subscribe. Remember, y'all, it does help me out. It helps out my channel. I appreciate it, and I thank you in advance. Now, this moral and values is all about winning. And oddly enough, your homie is not a winner. I'm a loser. And what I mean by that is growing up, I was never involved in sports. So I didn't have a true opportunity to be a part of a winning team, get that experience of working side by side with a group of people to overcome the adversity or the challenges that another team was presenting us and come out with a trophy. Didn't have that. Family game night, lost a bunch of them games. All my money was gone in Monopoly. Believe it. I was always getting double jumped in checkers. Loser. All the time. In school, when they had those random games or little festivals and stuff, I lost them bitches too. I go to the amusement park, I couldn't make the ball in the hoop, so guess what? I ain't win no stuffed animal. Loser, loser, loser. All my life, I've never been a real winner. I've got some stuff here and there, but nothing of real account. Now, I was in the Boy Scouts back in the day. Troop 225, it's real, look it up. This is the closest time I came to winning, and it broke my goddamn heart. You see, in the Boy Scouts, you got two different types of races, right? You got the Pinewood Derby race. It's basically a car. You streamline it to perfection. You give it a little bit of weight on the bottom. You grease the tires up. You put it on this little ramp, and it goes down just by gravity alone. And if your car was aerodynamic enough and the gravity was on its side, you win the race. Physics. Then you have a Pinewood boat race. What they do is they take gutters that you would put like on the roof of a house for the water to flow through. You take these gutters, you got two of them lined up nice and parallel. You fill them up about halfway with water. You get your boat. It's just a block. You have to carve it, shave it up, sand it down, paint it, do all that type of stuff to it to make it as smooth and as aerodynamic as possible in the water. Like a bullet. You got your sail on it. Now, the idea is that you have all these different troops at this same event. You got the other troop on one side with they gutter and they boat. You got one troop on the other side with they boat and they gutter. And I'm going against this kid, right? Put the boats in the water, make sure they lined up all nice and right. We waiting for the guy to blow the whistle, talking about, go ahead. When we blowing, you blow right into the sail and you're blowing it down the gutter. My mom was there. She the only one there that was supporting me. Come on, baby. You could do it. My mom was always my cheerleader, for reals. Love you, Mom. Now I'm blowing it, and I'm thinking to myself, I can do this. I've been working real hard on this boat. I had gone to D&J Hobby. I got the right type of paint. It was lightweight oil paint. Make sure the water was real slick and greasy on the side so it would just glide through the water. I was going to win this race. I knew it. I felt it in my heart. Now, some points in time in the race, for everybody, your boat's going to tip over from time to time because you're blowing it in whatever type of way, and it's going to move the sail one way or another. And it's okay to tilt that boat upright. Well, what happened with me was my boat tilted, that other kid's boat tilted at the same time. We go to put our boats up. Now, as I go to put my boat up and I bring my hands back behind my back to continue blowing through the sail to push it down, this kid's mom and all his little homies on that side started talking about I was pushing my boat. They said, no, we seen his hand push it a couple of inches down. At the end of the day, I lost the race because that side was louder than me and my mom saying I didn't push that shit. That I was being honest with me blowing into the sail. And that broke my heart. I'm a little fucking kid. I'm losing all the time. I was overweight, getting clowned on in school, didn't read very well. We ain't had no money. I didn't have no money for no Jordan shoes. I'm wearing Spaldings. I couldn't play no sports. It was a hard time in my life, y'all. And I thought this one competition was a competition I could win. And I lost. Embarrassed in front of my entire troop and all these other people saying I cheated because I pushed the boat. And I never did. Anyways, fast forward all the way till right now, 2021, the beginning of the year. My girl tells me, she just got a Peloton bike, and my girl tells me, yo, I'm a part of this Peloton challenge. I say, what is it, babe? She says, all you gotta do is get the highest output possible out of anybody in 1 month, the month of January. Whoever comes out at the end of the month with the highest output wins. Cash prize. I said, oh, cash prize. I like money. I'm fit. I be working out. I come a long way since some Boy Scout days. I think I could do it. Tell me more. She says it's a $500 pot. We're going to put that money in. We're going to start on the 1st of January. You ride as many classes as you want, as often as you want. And in the end of the month, you got the highest output, you're going to win. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm down. Count me in. Now, this is my first experience with the Peloton bike. I had no clue how this thing worked, how to set up a profile, how the gears worked, flip this, switch that, turn that, buckle this, whatever. I had no idea. My lady swooped me those shoes. She hooked me up with that profile. She set the bike up to my standard and what I needed so I could ride safe, clean, and successful. So thank you, baby. I love you. Now, with that said, remember, I got $500 on my mind. So all I needed to know was what class is going to give me the highest output. My Peloton riders out there, you know what I'm talking about when I'm referring to output. We're talking about those HIIT type classes, Tabata type classes. We're talking about classes where you're climbing up hills, things of those natures, right? So I'm getting into these classes, having a good time. Now, the way that they are regulating how people are riding and how they're calculating the output that they get is based on what the class says in the system. So if you do a 60-minute class, and within that 60-minute class, we're talking about from warm-up to the class to the cool down, and then it's done. If you hit 650 on your output, 650 is what you get. What I was doing for the first week was I would be riding, I would get my output in the class, it would end, and I'll just be in the groove because I'm watching movies while I'm riding. And I would just be accumulating, 20, 30, 40 more output, just having a good time, feeling it, but that wasn't even being counted. So eventually I found out that those numbers weren't being counted in my favor. So I was like, oh, damn. So in the first week and a half or so, I had a whole heap of output to make up because they didn't count that. So I was like, damn, strike one. Not looking too good for your boy. Okay? Then I accumulate that back. I'm back on top, having a good time, feeling good. Now, about a week and a half to 2 weeks in, I had another setback. This one was more of a motivational setback. I found out that the cash prize was no longer $500 for the winner, the person with the highest output at the end of the month. It was now $250 for first place, and I can't remember what second and third place was. Look, in the end of the day, I was enticed to join in on the competition for $500. Now, while I'm not mad at $250, money is money, it was the 500 that had me motivated for reals. And I started questioning to myself, is only $250 worth the entire month long of pain and anguish? I'm gonna have to be on this bike every single day. And every single day, I'm gonna be murdering my legs to get the highest output so I can maintain my reign at the top. That means I might not be able to do the same type of strength exercises in the gym for legs that I wanna do. And depending on my schedule, which was getting pretty busy around this time, I might not have time to even do upper body because I'm just going to be dead and drenched with sweat and exhaustion from all this bike riding in the first place. So I'm sacrificing my normal gym time for this $250, which wasn't the original $500. Now, again, I know I'm arguing pennies right here in comparison to what some of us out there have lost throughout 2020 and this whole pandemic. But because we're talking specifically about this specific challenge, understand my plight. Now, as I'm going back and forth in my mind of whether or not the $250 is enough to carry me through the entire month, sacrificing my normal gym time, certain things I wanted to do on the weekend because I have to be on the bike trying to get that output. Deep inside, the answer was no, the $250 wasn't enough. The $500 wasn't even necessarily enough. It was really nice, but it wasn't really enough. What I really wanted was the win for me. I wanted the win for Lil JGreene. Lil JGreene that was in the Cub Scouts that lost that Pinewood boat race in front of everybody, pointing and laughing, saying I cheated. Ridiculing me and my moms as we left with our heads down and they thinking that we cheaters. And that's how I left that event. I wanted to win for that guy. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna make up the output they say didn't count, and I'm gonna keep riding high even though it ain't $250 because I want the win. I want to be able to say I did that shit. I mean, I'm trying to beat out anywhere from like 50 to 60 people here. And that's a pretty nice round number of people to beat out in this type of competition. So now I'm about to fast forward you about a week and a half out from the final days of the competition. So about a week and a half out, I'm doing pretty good. I'm from first to third. And the only reason I was bumping from first to third place, second place, is because I was taking a couple of days off here and there to let my legs recover. So then that way, when I came back with some recovery under my belt, I could smash on greater numbers, greater output. Okay? Now, all of a sudden, I see this one chick in the ranks just coming up. She's making moves, putting up big numbers. So I know I got a target on my back. I got someone I need to watch out for. So I check her numbers on Tuesday evening of the final week. I see she's putting up some nice numbers. I'm like, all right, I'm about to smash. Let me get at least 300 to 500 above her and I'll be cool. I can go to sleep. Good. Do that. I wake up in the morning, ask my lady, check the numbers again. I'm still in the lead. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get on that bike. I'm going to put up at least a good 450. I do that before I have to get on an all-day Zoom meeting with Orange Theory. We're trying to get some stuff rolling. G13 classified, can't really talk too much about it. Later on in the evening, I did plan to ride again. So I asked my lady, I say, babe, check the numbers again. Let me see if anyone put anything up higher than the little 400 or 500 that I put up already. She says, whoa, this chick put up 1,300. I was like, what? 1,300? Now, to this point in time, the most I had ever put out in one day doing those like 10 little 10-minute ride challenges was like a G. That was like the most. So I'm thinking 1,300? Hell nah. Now, it ain't had nothing to do with the fact that I didn't believe she could do it full-heartedly. I was suspicious, but I was like, fuck. So I knew what I had to do. I needed to shut this chick down on a mental and an emotional level. I needed to let her know, hey, I'm watching you and I'm coming for your ass and you ain't gonna stop me from accomplishing what I set out to do. That was my will, that was my determination. So even though I'd already did 449 and change earlier that day, after everything said and done with my whole meeting and everything, I got back on the bike about 8 o'clock at night and I rode pretty much until 1:30 in the morning. And I smashed out about 2,000 and change. Homie, let me tell you, I was finished. I said, boom. I was a good X amount above her. Now that was a Wednesday night and pretty much through Thursday and Friday, it was the same back and forth, trying to see what her numbers were. I'm assuming she's seeing what my numbers were and we were just trying to beat each other out. So big ups to her for being able to keep it up. But my goal was to win Friday night. I wasn't gonna be able to ride on Saturday. I knew I had to win Friday night. And the reason why I knew I had to win Friday night was because A, I wanted to win, but then B, I knew that whatever she put up on Saturday, it was my mission to double Sunday morning. So finally, Saturday night comes. We check the numbers. She put up like 1080 or something like that on Saturday. So I was like, fuck. So based on what numbers I had and the 1080 that she put up, she was like 960 above me Sunday morning. I get on that bike. I schedule out, because you can schedule your classes in a row. You can stack classes on the Peloton app, right? I schedule out 4 hour-long classes, okay? I get on that thing. I smash out the first 2. Each of the first 2 classes, I was able to manage around 600 and change. Then they started to diminish. On the third one, I think I hit like high 570-ish, somewhere around there. And then I think the last one was like 505, something simple like this. So I basically accumulated 2,300 and change in those first 4 hours. Got off that bike, I ate some Mendocino Farms, had a gang of chips, drank some water, took a shower, passed out on the couch for a couple of hours. Okay? I woke up, loosened my body up, stretched a little bit. I got ready for my next 3-hour bout on the bike. I was committing to another 3 hours. Okay? Now, throughout the day, I had my lady check those numbers. We never saw this chick put any numbers up. And I said, damn, this is where I was starting to try to play a little poker with this girl. Okay? I said, I need to bluff her out. I need to get her to put up her numbers, finish the ride, and be done with it. Because I just don't trust that she won't get back on when she sees my numbers and be able to knock out more than I could knock out. Didn't want to believe it, didn't want to trust it. So what I did was I didn't put my numbers up yet. Remember, I got 23 in the bank, 2,300 and change output in the bank. So take my nap, do all that jazz. About 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'm getting ready to get back on the bike. I tell my lady, check the numbers. We see no numbers that this chick has put up yet. I say, okay, let's put up about 1,300. That was like the first 2 classes that I did. So 1,300 was easily well over her 960. So it's reasonable. It's the end of the night on a Sunday. So it's very reasonable that that could have been all I was going to do on Sunday. So I get back on the bike. We put the 1,300 up. I'm on my first hour. My first hour of riding finishes. I put up like another 572. Okay, I have my lady check the numbers. At that time, she sees that this chick put up, I think like a G or so. Can't really remember exactly what the number was, but it was definitely a nice high number. Okay, now with what I already had the competition won. And we're talking about 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. But that wasn't enough for me. I continued my 3-hour ride to end the night totally with 3,035 output in one day. 3,035 output in one day. I rode an accumulative of about like 9 hours in that day on Sunday to make certain that I beat this chick. But I still didn't put all my numbers in. Got off the bike, took my shower, ate my food, finally got into the bed about 11:30, and I told my lady, I was like, check the numbers again, because I'm paranoid like this. Make sure she didn't put anything new up. She didn't put nothing new up. And I said, okay, fuck it. Let's put my numbers in. We put my numbers in. I was 1,600 and change above her. 1,600 and change above her. Felt like I had it in the bag. There was no way in a half hour, unless she was sitting on numbers that, like me, she hadn't put up, there was no way that in a half hour she's going to pull 1,600 out that hat. I knew I won. I felt it in my heart. But I still went to sleep worried and nervous. Worried and nervous that just like little JGreene, as a child, someone was going to come up with some bad news. Say I didn't make it. In the morning, I woke up, asked my lady, babe, check the numbers. What's the deal? What's the word? She said, you're first place, babe. You won. You did it. And I felt great. I felt like I had accomplished something. Number one, I'd never been on the Peloton bike before. Cycling wasn't ever really my thing. Okay, I'm more of a treadmill, more of a rower type guy. But I accomplished the bike. I enjoyed the bike. I learned a little something about cycling. In the process, I won my money. In the process, I got my win for little JGreene and big JGreene. In the process, everybody else that was involved in the competition saw that I didn't quit. Maybe they were entertained by the back and forth and the who's gonna win it and who's gonna get it. I have no idea. Even though there wasn't a crowd of people there to hoist me up on their shoulders, I still felt like someone that had won a great deal. Remember, I've been a loser. Never really won anything. Multiple times during the competition, did I want to quit? Yes. Did I feel like certain things were unfair? Yes. Did I truly believe in my heart of hearts that this chick was truly putting up the numbers that she was putting up out of nowhere, having not seen her even in the top 10 or top 5 for the first 2 weeks of the competition? Hell no. But if I lost, could I say anything about it? No, because I would have been deemed a hater. Someone who just lost and was crying about shit. Look, the message and the moral of the story is this. In life, shit's not always going to be fair. In life, the weather will not always be perfect. There will not always be the ideal situation. It's not always going to go the way that you want. Sometimes it might, but most times it won't. And depending on what you're striving for, depending on what you're going for, if you don't have something in here that is truly driving you, I'm not talking about some superficial shit. I don't want to lose this weight because I'm going on this beach party, or I'm going to the little nightclub or whatever like this, or I'm going to the pool party in Vegas. I'm not talking about that superficial shit. I'm talking about that real shit. What are you doing it for? Who are you doing it for? Why are you doing it? What's motivating you? If you ain't got nothing, it don't have to be big to me, but it's got to be important to you. And this shit was important to me. And that's why I was riding for 9 hours on a Sunday. That's why I sacrificed going back to the city to do filming with my lady and having a good time on the weekend. That's why I sacrificed going to the gym that I have access to, that I pay to go to train my clients all month long for this competition. Even after I figured out that the $500 prize was no more. It was going to be like $250 or whatever. That's why I kept doing it. Because I remembered back in the day when I was a kid, and what it felt like to lose and be ridiculed in front of everyone. And this was an opportunity for me to put forth true effort, true understanding, manipulating the game and maybe your mentality just a touch to win. And the hard work and the hard effort paid off, baby. And you know what? If you think about that something deep down inside, you too can win. But when you won't win is if you quit. So don't quit. Yo, in the end of the day, I was just trying to tell y'all what I accomplished. Hopefully my story may have inspired you. Yo, if you are on that Peloton out there, let me know how I can link up with you and maybe we can do some classes together because that might be pretty fun. Other than that, I'm gonna have some more stories, some more morals, some more values. If you got a little something out of this, if you were entertained by this, hook me up with that like and that subscribe if you haven't done it already. I'm gonna be back later in the week for another movie review. And next week, you got another JGreene Morals and Values. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. It's all love. I love you out there. Holla.